I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Romulus Board of Education scheduled for Monday, December 10th, 2007 at 6:30 to order. Could I have roll call, please?
Ms. Kraut.
Here.
Ms. Roscoe.
Here.
Ms. Buckley.
Here.
Ms. Lanasi.
Present.
Mr. McKevich.
Here.
Mr. Kudik present. Ms. Freyer is absent excused.
Would all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Board of Education is changing the agenda slightly. We are going to a form called the consent agenda that will cover some of the routine items. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If any member of the board or any citizen requests discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent's portion of the agenda. And we are at a point where we need a motion support to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
We have a motion by Mrs. Lanasi, support by Mrs. Buckley, to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We now move to item 5, and Superintendent Weiss, are you going to take over on that?
Yes, this is a petition for reinstatement. The reinstatement committee met about 10 days ago and reviewed the circumstances for student number 20012397, and the motion before the board is whether or not to approve student 20012397 to be conditionally readmitted to the Romulus Community Schools Middle School.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education concur with the recommendation of the School Reinstatement Committee and student 200-12397 be conditionally readmitted as outlined in communication from School Committee dated November 29, 2007 to Romulus Community Schools to Romulus Middle School.
Support.
Is it Sandy?
Sandy. All right, we have a motion by Mrs. Buckley, support by Mrs. Kraut, to conditionally readmit student number 20012397. Before we take a vote, is there anyone with any questions, concerns? Seeing none, we will take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes and student is conditionally readmitted. Now we go to the item report of the superintendent. Mr. Weiss.
Thank you, Mr. President. First on our list of reports this evening, we have our still somewhat new IT director, Mr. Andrew Piazza, who has agreed to come present to the board tonight. Andrew's going to give you kind of a walkthrough of his first 3 months here in at Romulus Community Schools, and kind of clue you into where his priorities are, where he's been spending his time and where he's headed. Mr. Piazza.
Hello, everybody. I'm Andrew Piazza. In my short time here, I had some findings of our
You may have to raise it.
closer. Okay.
Is it on?
It's probably not on then.
Microphone?
Testing.
It's
it
okay,
is.
it is, okay.
In my time, I had some findings, and I looked around and evaluated our whole network. And this is some of the stuff that I found. I found that we have fiber interconnects between buildings and a direct connection to RESA. This is something that most school districts dream about. and we own the fiber. It is ours. There's no leasing or anything like that. This is incredible, and this is such a great tool for our district. I was blown away when I saw this. We also have 3 computer labs in each elementary school. This is not typical. The average school usually only has 1 big computer lab. We have 3. There is not a backlog. There's always ample computer time for all the children. It's really easy to schedule, and the kayaks are a wonderful asset. We have a 2-to-1 computer ratio. This is very high. I've seen some school districts try to achieve this, and they were quite unsuccessful. But we already have that. And we have a high-end cabling in the high school and middle school called Category 6. Everybody has been doing Category 5E for enhanced. Nobody thought of installing Category 6. But in 2001, you installed Category 6. Everybody had the foresight to install this. And so this is great because this is something that I need today, and it's already there. It's already installed, and it's ready to go. And so that's what I found. The problems and solutions that I have had were we had a disorganized server room. Stuff was not labeled. Had a little spaghetti effect going on with the cables. So my solution is to go bit by bit and label each part of the server room. And this can be done very easily if you shut down the whole network for about a week. Nobody has any internet access, and then we can then unplug everything and label everything. It's a little bit harder, to do that. It's kind of like being an auto mechanic. Well, you have to be an auto mechanic and work on a running engine. So this will take a little bit more time. So we have to do it bit by bit, and over a course of a year, hopefully we can get everything labeled. So if there is a problem, it can be addressed instantaneously compared to, I don't know what this connection is. Where does this go? We have a problem with, a certain school. We will be able to assess it a little bit better. We have ailing network switches in the elementary schools. The switches were purchased in, I believe, 1998 by 3Com, was the manufacturer. I didn't even know 3Com made switches. They are starting to wear out, a lot of dust, and they're starting to overheat. A solution is to purchase new network switches, and hopefully we can do it with E-rate funding. That'll be discussing in another slide. We have a server software that's kind of outdated and problematic. It was developed in 2001, and we have kept it alive till today. Most of the time that you would go through a refresh, but they were able to keep it stable. But right now it's starting to wear. And then my solution is to install new server software and go towards Novell compared to Windows Active Directory. The beauty of this is that it's 100% RISA supported. Instead of going by incident basis on a consultant that's on an hourly basis, we can just pay a flat rate with Wayne RISA, and it will be there. And we call them, they will fix it, and if they are in a bind, they have much more resources than us, and then they can help us out. All the districts surrounded by us too, Wayne, Westland, and Taylor, also have Novell too. So we can also stand on the shoulders of giants and find out some great tools that they've been using and implement it almost effortlessly. Right now we have a county supplied email. This was built for rural school districts, where people did not have a IT staff. They didn't, couldn't supply, servers. So our district could probably have something better. And then if we go with Novell, we can have a group-wise email. Many people probably have seen it. It's a really nice email system. It has calendaring functions and whatnot. Right now, one of our problems is that we have a multiple login ID and password. If you log into your desktop, you logged in your desktop computer, your email, your help desk, and Zangle. Those are going to be, separate logins and passwords. And then so somebody could have 4 usernames and 4 different passwords. It's really hard to keep up with it. If we go with Novell and we go with the eDirectory, you can have a single login. So I have 1 username, I have 1 password. And by doing that, we can raise the bar on the password. So there's not going to be any more 1, 2, 3, ABC. We can actually then escalate it to, has to be 7 characters, special character, capitalization. And doing that, you'll prevent you from hackers, because the hackers are going to go to your weakest link. And a lot of times they won't try to hack a server. They'll just try to find somebody with a very easy password. That's the first thing that they're going to check. And if we go to 1 login, they can definitely make it more secure. And right now we have slow desktop computers. I'm working on a long-term plan to see if we can get a new set of computers to the school district. That right now is just still on paper. Nothing has come up yet. How can this be achieved, especially with the network switches? This can be done with E-rate, Priority 2 funding. It's a government-funded program. It's only for infrastructure, so cabling, switches, server for only email and web access, and the server software, which would be Novell. We would get the priority from our free and reduced lunch program, and we may get up to 70% off. So other districts may have a higher free and reduced lunch. They'll get first bill, but then it will trickle down to us, and then if there's still funding left, we will get it. And so we can get some excellent software. We can get some excellent switches to make ourselves a very powerful network, and it will not break the bank. So right now we just had the bids are in, and we're sorting through them. We're going to be picking the best ones, and it will be the whole E-rate package, and all it will be on the agenda for board approval on January 14th. Thank you.
Good job. Any board members have questions? Andrew?
A lot of our computers are getting out of date, and I can't see how we could replace all of them at once. Do you have a plan on how many you want to try and do each year or something? Or
I'm talking with many vendors, Lenovo, HP, and Dell right now, and I'll be adding Toshiba to the list of trying to get a refresh cycle to see if in 5-year time, if we can just go bit by bit and get the whole school refreshed. I'm looking into that right now. I want to get the best deal for the school. I want to get the best hardware for the school. So right now I'm talking to all the vendors right now, and then I should have more information for you a little bit later.
Thank you.
I got one question, Mr. President. Andrew, so refresh means automatic updates, updating your software after so many years?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the software right now there's the Windows Vista and the Windows XP battle right now, and people would love to go to XP and have all the features, but some of their applications are not working. Some of our printers do not work. So that wouldn't, and the update cycle, we would have the option to go to Vista or XP, but the curriculum software like Millie's Math House or Sammy's Science House and all that would still be compatible with this update. So we wouldn't necessarily, if somebody has a tried and true and tested software application, it wouldn't be null and void because of this.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I've sat in the meeting with them all day today.
Oh. All righty, thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
Okay. Next, we have a motion regarding some surplus vehicles. Barbara Bloom?
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. I'm recommending that the Board of Education declare surplus 3 GMC 65 passenger buses and 1 GMC tow truck.
Mr. President, I'd like to move the Board of Education declare the surplus 3 GMC 65 passenger buses and 1 GMC tow truck as surplus equipment.
Support.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Kuderick, support by Ms. Lanasi. Any board members with questions or concerns? Ms. Lanasi?
Yeah, now, are we going to replace the tow truck?
At this time, no.
So what do we do? Have to call in a tow truck and pay for?
We'll have to have a service.
Oh
This
my.
tow truck, though, is not doing us any services.
I know, it's old. I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
It's
it
not
is-
in the plans right now to purchase one. We might be looking at that in the future.
Okey dokey.
Any other board members with questions? If not, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And next item on the agenda would be communications and expressions from the public. I didn't receive anything, Mr. Kuderick.
I don't have anything either.
We have no requests to speak, so we'll move on to item D. Mr. Weiss?
Thank you. Before I get into the items of interest, I just want to thank the board and members of the Romulus staff during a very difficult time for myself and my family. Your cards and your thoughts were very much appreciated. Thank you for that. We have several items of interest. You have a communication from Plant Moran regarding a Saturday seminar on legal and financial issues. Also, the first of the year wingspan from the high school is included in your packet. Information pack, parent letter, newsletter from Romulus High School, newsletter from Chartwells, the updated Romulus High School curriculum guide, copy of the Michigan Education Report, a newsletter from Wick Elementary, a newsletter from Romulus Middle School. Those are all included in your packet this week.
Mr. Weiss, if I may, I would just like to mention on some of this information that we got from an outside agency, Michigan Education Report. I had this put in the packet for mainly one reason, and it's talking about the number of high schools that are failing as far as the adequate yearly progress, and kind of a kudos to our district, I guess, is that all of our buildings have met the adequate yearly progress, and they're all, at this point, on the positive side. So I just thought that was good news for us, because I had seen something where in this report there was a drop as far as the number of high schools that were making the AYP.
If I could add just one thing, this is really a credit to our high school. This is the second year in a row now that they've made AYP, or adequate yearly progress, under the federal No Child Left Behind law. And I also want to point out that there is an error on the state report card website. Members of the community who go to that site, the very first page they come to shows the report card for Romulus Community School District, and it incorrectly shows both the high school and the middle school is not making adequate yearly progress. That is incorrect. We contacted the Department of Education before that information was released. Unfortunately, they were unable to make the correction, although they did acknowledge the error. However, members of the community who go to the individual school pages, so when you click on the report card for the high school, it is correct. It shows correctly that the high school made adequate yearly progress, and that our middle school made adequate yearly progress, and the community high made adequate yearly progress. So virtually every building made it this year. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we are in the process right now of developing a trimester approach at our high school with the new high school graduation requirements. One of the challenges that Mr. Hurst and his group presented to you last year was that it's very difficult for students to meet all of the required coursework, and in addition have any room left for electives such as band and foreign language and vocational education. Many school districts around us are in the process also of converting to trimesters. We'll be bringing that to the board for approval sometime within the next month or two, and you'll have a more comprehensive approach or presentation from Mr. Hurst and the high school folks on exactly what trimesters will mean to our students. But we believe it's going to open up a multitude of opportunities for the students.
All righty, the next item on the agenda is the questions and/or concerns of board members. I would like to start off with a couple of statements. Number one, this is the last meeting of 2007, and I would just like to wish everyone out there, and on behalf of the entire school district, a Merry Christmas and a safe and Happy New Year. Please drive carefully. It sounds like, again, we might have some bad roads tomorrow. And be smart in your decision-making over the holidays. So wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Any board members?
Okay,
Ms. Buckley.
Couple things. Number one, I just want to put a plug in for our band boosters. They have a cookbook for those of you that like to cook and those of you that don't and need a little help. There's some really good recipes in there. I can cook, I just don't like to. So you can see Mr. McLaughlin. And, yeah, yep. And it's well worth the money. Yeah,
They're
they have
very
some really
nice,
good
very nice.
recipes in
They
there,
did a good
so
job.
they would appreciate your support. Another thing, this is to Mr. Weiss, in our curriculum guide on page 41, there's an error that needs to be corrected. So going forward, would that be corrected? And will the parents, since it went out to our parents this year, our parents have it, will the parents be notified that there's a correction in the book?
Yes, I've been working with Mr. Hurst on that, and the parents of the affected students will receive a letter. We're currently debating, he wanted some time to check with his counselors. Either a letter will go home in the mail, or it will be in the form of a parent acknowledgement where they will sign off before their children take the AP exams this year. So communication will definitely go out. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
You're welcome. Thank you. That's it.
Any other board members?
Mr. President.
Mr.
yes.
Kudrick?
I had it right first. Also on the band, apparently it's their winter concert Wednesday, so if you want to hear some good music from a lot of our students, I'm glad to see a lot of our elementary principals in the audience tonight. It's great, and Ms. Golka, thanks for your gift from your staff. Very nice.
Anyone else?
Dorothy said her school.
All right, not seeing anyone else up to talk, takes us to the last item of the agenda, which would be adjournment.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Who's the support?
I
Roscoe?
supported Ken.
Who was the support? Roscoe. All right, we have a motion by Mrs. Lanasi, a support by Mrs. Roscoe to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.